This is Justin Kantor of soulmusic.com. I'm talking today with an artist who was affectionately called Little Aretha at the start of her career. She went on to tour international stages with the likes of the Crusaders and Michael Henderson. The lady's name is Rena Scott, and she's on the phone with us to talk about her hot new track, Come to Me, featured on the new Cool Million Back for More CD from our friends at Said Soul Records. And she'll also give us the scoop on how she got her start and what she's been doing on the music scene up till now. So please welcome the very soulful and talented Miss Rena Scott. Hey, Rena.
That was so nice. Hey, Justin. Nice introduction.
It's a pleasure to be speaking with you. I have enjoyed your music for a while now, but I honestly didn't know a lot about you, so I'm looking forward to this conversation and finding out more. So, I know that what first brought you to my attention again recently was your appearance on the new Cool Million Back for More CD, as I mentioned. And you have a blazing funk monster track on there called Come to Me. So can you tell me about this song and how it came to be, the circumstances around that?
Yes. Well, I met Cool Million over MySpace. Actually, I've met quite a few people over MySpace or Facebook, and it's just been really a great networking tool for me for connections in other countries and to find out that I had fans all over the world. The people have been coming to me, which has been amazing. Mm-hmm. But actually, the Cool Million project came along. He was looking for, I think, one more track to put on this CD, and they had gotten everybody else. As you know, there's a lot of great people on this CD, and I'll let you name them all. There's just so many wonderful people on the CD. And when they asked me to be a part of it, I was very happy to do that amongst the group of people that they have. And so he sent me this track, and I listened to it, and it was a dance track, and it was up, and it sounded good. It made you feel good. And so I wanted it to be something positive, and just came up with Come to Me when you need something. And everybody can relate to that. Come to me when you need a little understanding.
Kind of almost like a little jingle there.
Yeah.
And I know you've done jingle work.
It's funny. I kind of just, I only had a certain amount too. They only gave me 2 weeks to come up with the lyrics and melodies and put the vocals on. So, but I work good under pressure. I think I work better under pressure sometimes than I do if you give me a long time for a project. So anyway, it worked out. I sent it back to them, put the background vocals on, and put my thing on it, as I say, and they said they loved it, and I was very happy about that.
So you started out as a young kid in Detroit singing in the church, from what I understand. So tell me about those beginning experiences in music and how they influenced your vocal style.
Well, coming from Detroit, I had such great mentors. Aretha, of course, was my number one because I just seemed to connect with her, being from Detroit and so soulful. Loved all her music. And actually, let me just go back and I'll start. I started singing around 5 or 6 years old.
Oh, okay.
And I did not know that I could sing. It was my parents, there was a lot of domestic violence in my home. And I almost had a nervous breakdown at 10 years old from just being afraid and scared all the time that something was going to happen, to my mom, and so I felt like I was my mother's keeper almost, being that small and all. But the thing that it was instilled in me, apparently, through God, because it was my release. I would look in the mirror, and I can remember church songs when my mom would take me to church, and I would just start singing those songs, and I would cry, and it just seemed to be my way to connect with God, to say, Lord, please, can you help me with this, And so when I was 12 years old, I went to a church where a lot of my family were attending, and it was just something in me that said, I want to be a part of this. I want to sing in that choir with them and be a part of this. And so I joined the church on my own, and, without an adult pushing me up there. I went on my own as a 12-year-old girl, and Everybody was amazed. So back then, it was a Baptist church, and back then, and even now some of the churches do, but we would stay for 3 services almost. I mean, morning service, afternoon service, and evening service, and we'd have to sing at all those services. And there was a piano downstairs in the church, and the choir director in between services, I never forget it because we were eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. We'd always get buckets for everybody. And we'd sit and eat together, and then we'd sing and play around until the next service started. So we were in between services, and he was down at the piano just playing around, and I sat on the bench next to him. And all of a sudden, he was playing a song that one of the girls at church led. And she was a great singer. She was a great singer. So I guess learned that song somehow in the words, and I started singing it, and everybody stopped. And they said, "Oh my God, you can sing. You can really sing." And the choir director put me up there that Sunday evening, and the church just went wild. They just was screaming and hollering, and it was like, what is going on? What is going on? And everybody saw there was something. And so one of the choir members enrolled me into a major talent contest at the Fox Theater in Detroit. And that's also the theater that they used to hold all the Motown reviews. So there was always stars there, always something going on at this theater. And there was this radio station, WCHB, I'll never forget, in Detroit, one of the big R&B stations in Detroit that would sponsor this big event every year. It was a talent contest, and they would pick 10 groups or people to be in. And I was 13. She enrolled me in this, and I had my little dress made. I'll never forget. It was a little silver dress, sparkly, and my choir director, the musician, he wrote a song for me called "I'm Just a Little Girl Out Here Trying to Do My Thing."
Oh, that's
and
cute.
I'm just a little girl out here trying to do my thing. And it was so funny. And
sounds like a bluesy kind of thing?
Huh?
Was it like a bluesy kind of song?
Yeah, yeah, and it was up,
Yeah.
And so I made it to the finals, and I was one of 10 out of more than 500 people who tried out, and so that was my my first event outside of church.
Yeah.
And I even got a chance when I was with Lisa to see her work with Jerry Wexler. We did that and came back, and after that, Michael Henderson was looking for a girl to sing with, and these are, Detroiters, Michael Henderson and Aretha from Detroit. So he heard about me, had me meet with him, and we went in the studio right after that and did "Take Me, I'm Yours." We did the first take. We looked at each other while we're singing. That was my first time actually doing a duet with somebody, recording, but also just actually like him on one side and me on the other, and we're singing this song, looking at each other back and forth, recording it at the same time. And it was the first take I'll never forget, and it went to number 3 on the R&B Billboard charts, the biggest record Michael Henderson has ever had.
Wow.
And so, and at the time, I didn't know when I was working with him. I did not know it was the biggest one, but in turn, we ended up going on the road, and it was off of Michael's In the Nighttime album. So we started touring all over America in major arenas with Natalie Cole, Ashford and Simpson, everybody, and it would just be stadium crowds, and you can't imagine the love they gave me, because we kind of do it where Michael would be doing his thing, and then I'd sing from behind stage. We'd start this slow stall. Let's see, I think it was a Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway song.
Okay.
The closer I get to you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'd start singing it from behind the curtain, and they'd just hear my voice. And I'd come out and meet with Michael, and we'd do this whole thing on stage, real sexy and all. And then we'd break into "Take Me, I'm Yours," and the audience would just go crazy.
Oh, man.
And so from that, I ended up getting offered a record deal from Buddha Records. And just after that, Arista approached me, but I had already signed with Buddha Records. And at that time, They had Gladys Knight, Phyllis Hyman,